Parents, be the sheriff in your home. Talk to your students that making threats, especially centered on a hateful manner against a certain race, color, ancestry, ethnic, religion, or sexual orientation is not acceptable, and we will always treat it with a thorough investigation and make an arrest.
Flagler County deputies arrest a 14-year-old girl for Snapchat threats against her former school system in Ohio. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
This disturbing video used multiple racial slurs and made explicit threats of violence, including her intention to harm members of the LGBTQ+ community. Sheriff's Office Cyber Crimes Unit and Criminal Intelligence Units, in partnership with the Logan, Ohio Police Department, conducted the investigation and obtained a warrant charging her with written or electronic threats to kill with a hate crime enhancement.
The 14-year-old was processed at the Sheriff Perry Hall Inmate Detention Facility and transported to the Volusia County Juvenile Detention Center. Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Tuesday, January 28th.
The Palm Coast City Council meets this morning at 9 a.m. in the community wing of City Hall for a workshop meeting.
Brittany Kershaw, Director of Communications and Marketing for the City of Palm Coast, announcing the time and place of today's City Council workshop meeting.
Presentations will be the first item on the agenda this morning.
The first one will be a presentation from Advent Health, and they'll basically just be giving a status update on Advent Health in Palm Coast and regionally. And then following that, there will be a presentation on the open city manager search. And that recruitment process began back in November, and we've been working with a consultant, SGR, who has spearheaded that process, and they are going to present the applications that have been submitted so that City Council can go through those and narrow it down to some semifinalists to be able to proceed.
And the meeting will continue with more presentations on other topics.
They'll talk about the current state of the golf course and opportunities to enhance its value. This was a City Council-driven discussion that they requested, and it will talk about current operations, community engagement, and then potential enhancements. Next, we will hear about an overview of the Imagine 2050 Comprehensive Plan update.
The Strategic Action Plan will take center stage too.
Then we'll talk about the City Council's Strategic Action Plan, specifically objective number 3. And this talks about the process for evaluating and prioritizing turn lanes, and then discussing funding sources and road safety improvements in Palm Coast. The final presentation will be the Palm Coast Heroes Act, and that is related to city employees entering certain military service.
Business meetings and workshops are open to the public and are streamed live on the city's YouTube channel. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
So these ideas where you present a rare case and does the AI do better than the doctor, that might really pan out, and that might even be a potential use of AI.
With AI available to people, some are turning to Google rather than their doctor, and Flagler County's medical director has a lot to say.
Appearing on the Friday Free-for-All, Dr. Stephen Bickle with the Florida Department of Health said Googling symptoms may help inform the patient, but it's no substitute for your doctor's advice.
The times that I get annoyed with it are where they kind of insist that their conclusion from interacting with this stuff is the truth, and, mine's a minority opinion, because medicine's just, there's a lot of nuance to it, and so you can, it's complicated, and if something on Google MD says this, doesn't mean it's right, and but it can be useful food for discussion.
A growing number of patients are going online using AI doctors to diagnose and treat their conditions. Dr. Bickle says that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not that easy to get in to see doctors a lot of times, especially if you have co-pays and other things. So I don't think in general knowledge about healthcare or even the ability to look into some of your symptoms and get some ideas is a bad thing. It might, trigger you like, boy, they keep telling me maybe I should get a cancer screening or something, so it can raise awareness. It's going to be tricky to sort of sort this out, how to use it. But I think overall it's a good thing, actually.
I'm Daryl Moody reporting.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.